Everyone thought it was over, not just the NCAA, not just the critics, but the system itself had already written the ending to Trinidad Chambliss's story. Denied. Final. Move on. But here's the thing about stories like this. They don't end when people expect them to. They flip. And what just happened might be one of the most important athlete versus system wins we've seen in years, because against all odds, Trinidad Chambliss just beat the NCAA. And now, he's coming back for 2026. Let that sink in. A quarterback who already shocked the SEC, who already carried Ole Miss Rebels to the college football playoff, was told his career was over, and instead of accepting it, he went to court, and he won. But to understand why this is such a big deal, you have to go back to the moment everything almost fell apart. No spotlight, no headlines, no hype, just a young quarterback at Ferris State Bulldogs, sidelined, respiratory issues, a lost season. For most players, that's just a footnote. But for Chambliss, that missing year became everything. Because eligibility in college football isn't just about talent, it's about time. And time is something the NCAA controls. Fast forward to 2025, Chambliss transfers. New team, new system, new pressure. He's not the star, not yet. He starts as a backup behind Austin Simmons, quiet, waiting. Then, week 2, hits, injury, opportunity. And this is where stories like his either disappear or explode. Chambliss didn't just step in, he took over. 3,937 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions, 66.1% completion. And when plays broke down, he didn't panic, he ran. Being 527 rushing yards, 8 more touchdowns. This wasn't just a good season. This was dominance. This was the moment he turned from backup into problem. And suddenly, the Southeastern Conference had a new name to worry about. So he leads Ole Miss all the way to the college football playoff. Semifinals. 1 game away from the biggest stage. And just like that, his stock explodes. But then, reality hits. Eligibility clock. Expired. Career. Supposedly over. That's when Chambliss made a decision most players wouldn't dare to make. He challenged the NCAA. He asked for a medical waiver, arguing that 2022 wasn't development, it was health. The NCAA said no, not enough evidence. They claimed it was about team needs. Translation, they didn't buy it. And for most athletes, that's where the story ends. But Chambliss didn't accept that. He took them to court. And here's where things get really interesting. Because this wasn't just about one player anymore. This was about power. Who really controls an athlete's career? The organization or the individual?
In February, a judge granted him a preliminary injunction. Temporary win, but the NCAA wasn't done. They appealed. They pushed back. They tried to shut it down. And this is the moment where most people expected the system to win. Because it usually does. But not this time. The Mississippi Supreme Court judge denied the NCAA's appeal. Read that again. Denied. That means Chambliss didn't just survive the fight. He won it. And now, he's officially back for 2026. Think about what that means. A quarterback who just lit up the SEC, who already proved he can carry a team deep into the playoffs, now gets another year, another shot, another run. And here's where the story flips again. Because Ole Miss isn't the same team anymore. Lane Kiffin is gone. Staff is gone. Players followed him out the door. On paper, this team should be rebuilding, but they still have Chambliss. And sometimes, one player is enough to change everything. Vegas already sees it. Heisman odds, Babal at 800. second best in the country. Let that sink in. A guy who wasn't even supposed to play is now one of the favorites to become the best player in college football. That's not just a comeback story. That's a statement. And there's a bigger layer here that most people are missing. This isn't just about football. This is about the shifting power in college sports. Because cases like this echo something bigger, something that already shook the NCAA before the NCAA vs. Alston decision. A moment where the NCAA lost control in ways they never expected. And now, history is starting to rhyme. Athletes are no longer just players. They're challengers. They're voices. They're legal forces. And Chambliss just proved that if you push back hard enough, the system can crack. So now the question isn't just what happens next for him. It's what happens next for everyone. Because if one player can win like this, how many more will try? And what does that do to the future of college football? But before we even get there, there's one thing you need to watch. Because now every defense knows his name. Every game will be pressure. Every throw will be analyzed. Every mistake will be magnified. And that's where legends are either built or broken. So the real question is simple. Was 2025 the peak or just the beginning? If you think Chambliss is about to take over college football, let me know. And if you want more stories where athletes go from written off to unstoppable, you already know what to do.